Welcome to In That Geek Crew, and continuing the series of movies that I've watched in 2021, and we're in March. So I started with a film I'd never seen before on Disney Plus Stars, Revenge of the Nerds 2: Nerds in Paradise. I saw the original years ago, but I never got around to seeing the sequel. I gotta admit, it's pretty much the same as the first, but it's really enjoyable nonsense, and the fact that it's on Disney Plus, fantastic. Then Mallrats, for a High Ground podcast. Kevin Smith's second underrated movie, got a great cameo by Stan Lee. When Stan Lee, this was from 95, when people who were only comic book fans really knew who Stan Lee was. Then continuing which leads on to what we watched afterwards, which is Avengers Assemble, again on Disney Plus, continuing our MCU in timeline order. Then it was Coming to America on Amazon Prime, the sequel to Coming to America. It's one of these films that, I loved Coming to America as a kid, so watching Coming to America, it's pretty much the same sort of thing as the first one, but it's still funny, and it goes to show you how well the prosthetics from the original haven't really aged that much, because they do a repeat in Coming to America. Like I said, it's very similar to the first, but I really enjoyed it because it is very similar to the first, and all the jokes and a lot of the humour from the first does flow on to the second one. That being said, it was a real enjoyable movie and I laughed my ass off. So Coming to America 2, I just wish it, or Coming to America, wish it had had a cinema release. Now we're back on the stuff that I did for the High Ground podcast. So I watched back to back A Nightmare on Elm Street 1984 and the 2010 A Nightmare on Elm Street 4 in defense of A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. I wanted to watch the original first, then so that when it comes to doing the in defense of, I had it there, and I had to tell you, one of the hardest in defense stuff that I've done for the we've done for the High Ground podcast. I wanted to challenge ourselves. The first one is a classic, the original, should I say, but the remake, you can pick so many holes in it. So trying to find stuff that's good on it, it's like I said, click on the link below, which is High Ground podcast. You can actually listen to the podcast that we did for that one, which is well worth it. Then back onto the whole MCU watch with Thor: Dark World. I judge a film by how many times. If it's a one I've watched before, it's how often I pick up my phone. And I'm sorry, but to me, Thor: Dark World represents the low point in the MCU. But it's still got stuff in it that's good that actually they actually did use again in in Marvel's Avengers Endgame. And if you're going to do it, you have to do the bad as well as all the good and the great movies. So Thor: Dark World, I'm not a fan, really. Then it was Zack Snyder's Justice League, the 4-hour epic, which should have been a cinema release, and it's a absolute incredible movie. It's a lot better than the Joss Whedon version that was put out. This is Zack Snyder's vision. Maybe 4 hours, but it doesn't feel like you're watching a 4-hour movie, and I truly loved it. Absolutely fantastic. So, if you haven't seen it yet, check out Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I'm looking forward to the Blu-ray with all the extras and everything. Then we go back to, I've been doing a lot of comic book movies, you see, so Iron Man 3 on Disney+. I'm a big fan of Shane Black. I think he's brilliant, and check out his The Nice Guys if you haven't already seen it. So Iron Man 3, underrated Marvel one, and it is good, like I said, and I do like Iron Man 3, and Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Another one for In Defense of the High Ground podcast. Doing a lot of shout outs for it. A lot of the stuff we do lately has been for my little for that's kind of my main project now, to be honest with you. Our main projects, I work with Callum on the High Ground podcast. The other contributors to plug. So the Superman 4 Quest for Peace, another In Defense of. So that was another hard one, but it was good to do the research for it, I'll be honest with you. And Superman 4 is, for me, I've got such a soft spot for Superman 4. I know it's the low one, and we go into it in the High Ground podcast again, but for me, I got a lot of fond memories of Superman 4 because that's when I started collecting Superman comic books when that film came out. So it's back to the good stuff, which is the MCU with Captain America: Winter Soldier, which is one of my favourite MCU movies. I'm a big Captain America fan. It's not surprising I like Superman and Captain America. So Winter Soldier is like a game changer. And when it linked into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., absolutely fantastic. That's on Disney+. Guardians of the Galaxy, again, following the timeline. The modern day Star Wars, absolutely fantastic. Love that film. One of the probably in the last 10 years, probably one of the most watched films I've got and have seen. And ending the month with a film I'd never seen before, and I found it on Disney Plus, and I can't believe I never knew of it. I'd heard of it, but I never got around to watching it. Mystery Alaska, about this Canadian Saturday hockey players play on ice, and they play the New York Rangers. It's absolutely enjoyable. It's a fantastic hockey film. Can't believe it took me so long to watch it. I love like Goon and Slapshot, and Mystery Alaska is up there with, definitely up there with Slapshot, and definitely up there with the Goon, and of course the Mighty Ducks. Russell Crowe is absolutely fantastic. The entire cast, the story's brilliant. And I'd never seen it before, and that's my 48th movie, and ends the movies I've watched in March with Mystery Alaska. If you like ice hockey movies, even if you don't like ice hockey movies, if you like Russell Crowe, just check it out. Mystery Alaska, found it on Disney Plus. So, like I said, I've ended March with 48 movies. I'm Stevie W. This is In the Geek Room. Please click out on the link below if you want to hear what else I've been doing with films and this really good site, the High Ground Podcast. I never plug for it, that's all I've been doing on this video. I'm Stevie W. See you in April.